And hello, welcome to a new episode of Pokemon Ramble. I'm your host, Hi, and I'm together with.
Max.
And today we're going to a whole new region, or at least we're going backwards, so it's not a whole new region. We're going to Galar. So, yeah, from my understanding, Max, you never played Sword and Shield before, haven't you?
Nope, I have not. I think that's in my that game came out of my Pokemon drought. Like I thought, I've played every single Pokemon game until Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and I saw I don't know. I saw the trailer and I was like, normally I'm the first guy that would get the new Nintendo console so I could play Pokemon on it, but I was so I don't know. I was not. I don't know. It didn't grab me. It didn't grab me at all like the old games did. Yeah, I haven't played it. I mean, right now I have bought a Switch. I am playing through Violet and I am liking it. But no, Sword and Shield is a game I've missed.
I think if you like Violet, this has a lot of these features, the beginning days of those features, like the roaming Pokemons. It started all here in Sword and Shield. The storyline is basically you just, I think, move to a village and you happen to be friends with the little brother of the current champion, Leon. So his name is Hop. He already has a Wooloo, so he even has a Pokemon before you. So you're the real noob here. Eventually, you don't get the starters from a professor this time.
Oh wow,
You get it from Leon.
nice.
So
That's
the,
new. That's
so
nice.
the champion gives you a choice to pick one of the starters. And you pick one, Hop picks one, and he will hold the third one in his team. And you will face the third one in battle if you fight him eventually.
Nice.
So that's really cool. So even if he ends up with a fire types, he will have two fire types on his team because he's the champion. He doesn't care.
Right.
So it's a little village. It's based on England. Starters from Leon, so that's a good change. You don't meet the professor until later because you will get your Pokédex, I think, from her daughter, Sonia, because she isn't in. The professor is a bit older, and she's not in her lab, I think. And later, Sonia will become the new Pokemon professor. Actually, she will get
Nice.
upgraded. So there's a character with development, actually, for once.
Yeah, I
And
mean, normally the professors are just there and they're like static, you know?
yeah, I mean, the older professor is also a bit static because she convinces Leon that you and Hop will join the gym challenge because in Galar it's like a whole event and a venue for it. So it's like a football league, but uh, it's your Pokemon team and you. It's not actually football.
I'm
So
gonna get in between there for a little bit. I really like the fact that they were like, "Oh yeah, it's in the UK, so let's do UK, um, culture." But I'm like, so according to this game, football is UK's culture. That's it. There's nothing else outside from apple pie. You know the apple pie Pokemon.
no, there's different things, but you find it in the story. So there's like a whole museum that you've want whole museum. It's pretty small, but there's like a whole backstory of all the places that you go to. So it has more character than that. But it's the gym challenges they changed into as basically a football league. They, you even your clothes that you wear when you're walking around. When you do a gym challenge, you change into your uniform. So you pick a number and stuff like that. So it's very sport like.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but next to that, the gyms are, it's the same old thing. Like, oh, there you start with the grass gym because it's weak, and then you go to the water gym. So it's the old format here still, but they changed it with the wild area. You will find stronger looking Pokemons. So, for example, if you're level 10, you don't have a badge yet. You can find the first part of the wild area. You find Onyx, who is level 25, but you can also see Steelix in the wild, for example.
So it scales now.
Yeah, it skills. So
Wow, that's the one change I've wanted for literally years now.
So you cannot catch a higher level Pokemon if you don't have the right badge yet. So that stays. So you can have, but you can train your starter to level 100 before you have one badge. That's a possibility.
That's nice. I like that change.
And they will listen to you anyway, but um, you cannot catch higher levels until you get to a certain point in the story, which kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. But like even from like even like in game, like an experienced trainer who just starts out, like unless you're like a super like unless you like really dangerous situations, it wouldn't make sense to me anyway to go looking for Pokemon you could never hope to beat. Like you just start out, you know?
Yeah, and there's a lot of like I said, there's more of the English or the British culture than you think. For example, there's Stonehenge, their own version of Stonehenge. There's the London Wall, the London Eye, stuff like that. Even York and some other castle walls and a lake. And even mountain area that's in the UK. So it's more than just football, but you just have to recognize it. They don't really tell you in your face, this is this in real life.
Right.
Another thing that they took over from the football thing is you have two rivals in the game. One is Hop, who picks the weaker starter. The other one is Marnie, this little sister of the gym leader who uses dark type Pokemons, Pierce. And Marnie has a really big fan base, like a huge fan base. They kind
Like
of like
IRL or in game?
both,
Okay.
both. But in game they are called Team Yell, and Team Yell is like a group of hooligans who really love her in the sense that they even try to stop competitors and stuff like that.
Wow. Okay.
They even apparently they also appeared in the anime. I just read here, so they are pretty something else. Um, they they are not the smartest bunch, but they are kind of the equivalent of the evil teams in the game. So there aren't really evil teams. There's also a guy named Chairman Rose, who is the chairman of the Pokemon League. And oh, what do you know? He appears to be the real villain of the series. Okay,
Wow.
how surprising! But he's the one who starts the opening of the game. Like it's not a professor. He's telling about the world of Galar, basically. But he ends up to be the real evil mastermind and trying to take a certain Pokemon and I don't remember its name. It's let me see. I have to look this up because I don't remember really. The reason why I don't remember is because, well, the story is a bit. Oh, okay, I see what you did there, and it's kind of forgettable. He's the president of Macrocosmos and the chairman of the Galar Pokemon League. Oh, Eternatus. He tries to use Eternatus to give the Galar region infinite energy resources.
Okay.
So he's just a screwed businessman, really. He uses steel types, so that's pretty interesting. But yeah, the story is basically you and Hop are fans of Leon, um, and Leon is the ultimate champion because he never lost. Um, and eventually, after you get your starter, there's a Wooloo who headbutted the fence. You see him after you leave the house, and then after you come back, the fence is open and Wooloo is gone. So you and Hop decided to go find it, and you end up in a forest, and it starts to be misty, and you can find the Wooloo. I think you do find the Wooloo eventually, but there's the box legendary standing in front of you, and you try to fight it, but you cannot even hit it. Nothing
Oh, okay.
happens. And then you are found by I think Sonia and Leon, and then you get saved by them, and then go back, and then you do the gym challenge, and then you pick your number and stuff like that. So the story is a bit, it's a one line, even though the wild area is like open. The storyline is still one direction. So you have to go to here to finish the storyline. La 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 la. You know, they don't let you go to other areas until later. Oh, you don't have enough badges to go into this town. Because from the wild area you can go to the 8 town, the 8 gyms town, but you can't go in because you don't have enough Pokemon badges yet. So until you have all of them, you can go there.
Lame.
Yep. So it's a bit weird in that sense because you can even like dodge all the high level Pokemons and go to the gate, and then they say like, no, go back.
Wow. Okay. So it's open, but it's not really open.
The other thing that they did was add not one but 2 places where you can breed your Pokemon, so that's pretty good. What else? Next to that, yeah, I mean the Dynamax thing. I think the DLCs added way more backstory. Like, oh, you meet the master who trained Leon to become the champion, and you meet Chairman Rose, his brother, who used to be a gym leader, but he quit and tries to go on adventures and stuff like that. And of course, you meet some more legendaries in the DLC as well, but also you can find past legendaries in the game as well. So, all in all, I think Galar is it's okay. I understand why you didn't get hyped at first. A lot of people give a lot of flack to the game. But if you like Scarlet and Violet, I think you will like this game.
Do you think the flag is undeserved?
Yes and no. Partly yes, because it gets. I mean, the storyline eventually, if you just do the gym battles, it gets a bit boring. It's like, oh, okay, you go to the next one, you go to the next one, you go to the next one. There isn't really an evil organization or whatever to have like a side plot per se until the end. And you get a bike who gets upgraded by Rotom, and then you can go over water and stuff like that. So that's neat. But yeah, all in all, it's an okay game. Wouldn't say it's the best. I wouldn't say it's the worst. I think Scarlet and Violet has way more issues than Sword and Shield. In
Really?
hindsight. In hindsight. Yes.
In hindsight, okay.
But yeah, who knows? Maybe Scarlet and Violet will be better with the DLCs eventually. You don't know, because that's how Sword and Shield started. It felt like, oh, that's it. There isn't more. And then
Right.
when a DLC came, it's like, okay, now it feels like a complete game. I feel like after you have the DLC, then you can play the real game, the full game. So you can have the storylines. For example, you can go to the Armor Islands while you're still doing the gym challenges, It would make more sense because you're kind of training under Master Mustard is his name. And but then you can also get Kupfu and Urshifu, which is kind of like a legendary. So it's like depends how you look at it. But you can also find way more Pokemon that you didn't see before without the raids. The raid system is basically the same as in Scarlet and Violet. They basically took it over from Sword and Shield, so that's the same kind of. Yeah, just going in the wild and do raids and find Pokemons in the wild area is pretty fun. But eventually you get bored because it's only one area that they're roaming like that. The other areas they're also roaming, but it's more linear. So in my conclusion, it's a good game, but it's not a great game.
It makes sense.
So yeah, maybe we will make an episode where Max is playing Sword and Shield and reacting to it.
Yeah, maybe.
First impressions. We'll come back here. But for now, I think that's a good way to end the segment and the episode of Galar, because there's not too much to talk about, really. I felt like it's almost an in-between game if you look at the range. Like it's one of the... After Let's Go, it was like the first new Pokemon game on the Switch. I feel like expectations were too high because of it.
I mean, a big mistake that they just made is like it's very obvious that Let's Go, like Pikachu and Eevee, they're marketed at younger children. It's not really hard to see how and why. And I don't know, like I felt like Sword and Shield kind of held on to this like kiddie sense of game, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, they never let go. Even
Yeah,
Scarlet and Violet,
exactly.
it's too easy, honestly. But I think that's one of the downfalls which started with this generation. It was too easy. It isn't easy as a game. Like I said, you can catch trade only evolutions in a while. Stuff like that. Like, oh, there's a Steelix just swarming around. I'm gonna catch it.
I mean, this in particular. I mean, Steelix has been in the wild since Ard Gold Soul Silver. I think. I mean, they were even in Diamond and Pearl. You could catch them in the Victory Road.
Yeah, but
And there were Trevenants near the Pokemon League in X and Y. I mean, being able to catch tradables is not really something I would say is negative, especially because, before the internet, when I was in school, when I was in middle school, I mean, there were a lot of kids who would play Pokemon, but did not have other friends who they could trade with.
Right. No, that it's a plus and a minus at the same time for me, because with that you don't really need a metal coat or whatever anymore for anything than boosting your Pokemons. Yeah, like Scizor and Steelix and stuff like that. Like they become insignificant in that way, but I understand why they did it. But you know, for someone who likes to play with other people or stuff like that, it's they make it more like you can play it alone and online and do the raids with other people. Like I said, the raid in Sword and Shield is basically they basically carbon copied and added to Scarlet and Violet. It's not that different. You also challenge it with 4 characters. The only part is the NPCs in Sword and Shield are retarded. So
Sorry, what?
they are retarded. Like they use some Pokemons and it's like, why are you using that one? So you don't get other players like Scarlet and Violet. You get NPCs, like little NPCs, and sometimes they have like a Magikarp in a team or something like that. And it's like, but why? I believe Magikarp was one of the better ones actually, and there was another one I don't remember. I haven't played it in so long.
Flashbacks to Gen 1 and 3, where there were like fishermen saying that they were unbeatable because they had 6 Magikarps.
Yeah, stuff like that. But they were doing things like a Wobbuffet or something like that, I believe, and it's like, oh, you use that move, but it's a physical attacker, not a special attacker, so you did it for nothing. Stuff like that, and people got frustrated by because of the NPCs, kinda. I remember I got also frustrated by NPCs, but that's the only downside in the raids, I think, really. But yeah, I think that's it. I don't really have much to say about Galar anymore except for cool starters.
I mean, I would like to return to Galar when I actually get around to playing the game. That would be nice.
Oh, we could go back together.
I feel like, considering Let's Go was released before this, I maybe we can like combine Gen 1 free and Let's Go together, since they all take place in Kanto, and it's all like it's mostly the exact same.
Yeah, we can. Why not? Any closing words and how are your thoughts about Galar? What I told you so far?
Well, from the things I have seen, I don't know. I do like the fact that they say like football is English culture, and to a certain extent it is. But seeing like Leon wear a football T-shirt, like Cinder Ace in this game, I don't know. I think it's a little bit too much. But maybe it's just me because I don't really like football.
Also, he got sponsors all over his cape.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You don't get sponsored at all as a champion, so that's a bit weird. But yeah, I think that's the right moment to conclude this episode of Galar. Next episode we will go somewhere else. So until then, bye bye.
Right. See you. See you guys.